My name is Alex Kaloxilos. I'm the Executive Director of the 6G Industry Association. Although the session is entitled The Public Sector and what the public sector is doing for 6G, I'm representing the private sector. So what we are doing in Europe is that we form partnerships between the public and the private sector. We have been doing this since the 5G era. Now we have done the same thing for 6G networks. And I will go, the 6G Industry Association, let me say that it's a non-for-profit organization. We have 300 members. And I'm really proud that we don't only have all the key stakeholders from Europe, but we have also stakeholders with headquarters in all over the regions. So Huawei, ZTE, Samsung, Apple are members of our association. Now, we have organized the SNSJU roadmap having in mind what 3GPP is going to do and how standardization is going to progress and how ITU is going to play the game. So we started from the 5G advanced era. We have 4 streams, what you see on the slide, starting with an evolutionary path from 5G advanced and a revolutionary path with topics that are looking promising for 6G networks, like terahertz communication, joint communication, and sensing. And this is during the first phase. So the first row that you see with the blue and green color, it's the core of our research activities, following these 2 paths, evolutionary and revolutionary, going to the system specification and the validation. The second row that you see is that we are building at the same time experimental platforms because we start from scratch for 6G, but still there's going to be some continuations from 5G networks, so 5G advanced, and we further extend the experimental platforms, including all the time new features. And the last row that you see is that we started from the beginning with the large-scale trials because it has been discussed today and the 2 previous days that the monetization of 5G is an issue. And if you don't have the ecosystem, it's going to be challenging after a few years to monetize the results of these activities. So large-scale trials, and we cover so far all the verticals. And I say so far because Professor Haustein today, he mentioned that we have 27. That's not correct. We have 62 projects. Actually, we have 35 running, as we have seen from Professor Katz, for example. That was one example from Super IoT that started in January 2023. So we have 35 of these projects, and we have an additional 27 projects being selected, being prepared with the grants and everything, and they will start in 24. Roughly, we have spent already 400 million euros, and that's looking promising. And what you see in this slide here is the organization of the topics. So only for the first phase and the first call, where we thought that it was wise to follow also the evolutionary path through 5G advanced, we have organized topics on several aspects, considering architecture, non-terrestrial networks, radio access networks, core network, security, service provision, orchestration, etc. So we have 7 of these projects of the so-called Stream A, with the idea that if you plug them all together, you get the complete system. But that was only for the first call, because these projects are going to end in 25, so in 25, the 6G standardization process will have started. And then you see Stream B, where we have usually some common areas where we investigate topics. These have to do about the architecture, the radio access network, optical communications, non-terrestrial networks, IoT, and short-range communication, and service provision and security. On top of this, on every call, because we have calls for a new project every year, we focus on new specific topics. Let me simply say that for Stream B, we have the flagship project, which is HexaX2, 25 million euros, and if I remember correctly, something like 40 partners, and flagship says it all. Now, in Stream C, this is about the development of experimental infrastructures to be used later on in large-scale trials. And we have, in some cases, lighthouses, where, for example, for this year, we are going to have a lighthouse on microelectronics for 6G networks. And another call will be about the federation of various experimental platforms all over Europe. Finally, in Stream D, we have the large-scale trials. As I said before, we cover all the verticals, at least 12 different cases. And for this year, in the call that will open in 24, we will focus on projects that will provide some tangible results on sustainability, because everybody is saying that sustainability is important, and we would like to see results both for sustainable 6G networks, but also 6G for sustainability. So how some of the vertical industries can become sustainable. Now, we do believe that collaboration is the way forward. So we have a complex structure. That's the strength and the weakness of Europe, but I always like to think it as a strength. It's a diverse environment. We have many countries. We have the European Commission and the European Union, but I think that we are doing pretty nice work, because all this diversity gives further strength. And it's not confined only at the European level. We have global collaboration as well. So what you see there is that we have the public and the private side working together, creating the work program. We have all the member states in a special group, which is called States Representative Group, providing their feedback. And at the same time, we have communication links and receiving feedback from all global organizations related to 6G, and usually users or will be users of 6G networks. And finally, you see that we have allocated resources also for international collaboration. Now, although you see 3 flags there, Korea, Japan, and the States, you have also the whole globe, because indeed we are discussing about the future vision also with other regions like Canada, Brazil, China, Taiwan. But especially for the States, we had a dedicated project last year, and for this year, we're working to have dedicated calls, small projects, but useful projects, I believe, with Japan and Korea. All 3 projects are dealing with the same thing, which is AI and machine learning solutions for RAN. So, nice opportunity to exchange discussion, to exchange ideas and find some commonalities. Thank you.